Hello my friends, welcome to Prime Strings. I'm Henriette and today we are playing the A major scale and the A major arpeggio. Lots of people ask me, why do you play scales and why is it beneficial for playing the violin? First of all, let me explain to you what a scale is. And a scale is when we play one note and then a note higher and a note higher and a note higher again. And so until we've reached the top of the scale, and then we go step by step, note by note, back down the scale. And what this does to your fingers is that it programs your fingers. It tells your fingers where exactly on the fingerboard they're going to be. And it practices your fingers away from any music. What sometimes happens when we play from music is we get distracted by the look of the music, by the book, by the pictures that might be in your book, or by other things in the music notation. And when you practice a scale, and we're going to learn it in a minute, when you practice a scale, you just program your fingers to find their way around the fingerboard. And because you're not reading it from the music, but you're playing it off by heart, you can focus on lots of other things. For instance, your left hand technique, or the way you hold your bow and you play with your bow. And that is how you get the most out of playing your scales. It just helps you get your technique right. So thank you for showing up here today, and I'm hoping that you have your violin and your bow ready. I'll play the scale for you first so that you know what we're going to try to achieve, and then there will be lots of opportunity for you to join in your playing and play it along with me. So what we're playing is the A major scale, and that I'm playing every note of the scale twice. So here we go. So I hope you've noticed I was starting on the A string, and the A string is the second string from the right hand side when you have your violin up like this. And what I'd like you to do is to think about your finger pattern, and you've probably noticed that I have got a gap between fingers 1 and 2. Then fingers 2 and 3 are together. Then after I've gone up like this on the A string, I skip my pinky. I'm going straight on to the E string. 1, a gap again for 2, 3 is right close by, and the 4th finger is at the top of the scale, and you've got a gap between your fingers there. So will you join me playing it together? And we're going to play every note twice, like I've done it before, and I'll count us in 1, 2, and off we go. So let's get ready on the A string. 1, 2. Skip your pinky. Now hold on a moment right here, because what I'd like you to do next is get all your fingers in the correct positions before you play the third finger. So now we're going to finish off going down the scale. 3 fingers on A. That's it. Very well done. You've noticed when I was just playing all my 3 fingers on the A string going down the scale, when you've got all your fingers on the string, all you need to do is take your fingers away for the last 3 notes. So it's perfectly fine at this early stage when you just stop as you come down and then play. Put all your fingers in the correct positions and then play the rest. Shall we do that again? I'll count us in for 2 again, and this time I want you to check that your finger line, which is this crease here, where your finger is attached to your hand, let's have that finger line next to the E string right here. So if this is you and your hand is gone down below the fingerboard, perhaps you might be able to raise your hand a little bit and let your fingers stick up higher above the fingerboard like that. Okay, so the crease where my finger joins my hand is right next to the E string there. Your thumb, of course, isn't back or underneath, but it's just peeking over the edge right here. Now I'd like you to push your wrist out like that. And now you've got the correct hand position. So you will notice that your fingers are generously well above the fingerboard here. And what I'd like you to do is really curl them up as you place your fingers. So here we go. We'll play the scale once again and we'll keep really slow. 1, 2. Open E. Hold on a moment, place your fingers 1, 2, 3 on the A string and off we go. Awesome. That's already getting better, do you notice? Now, when we play scales like this, I want to concentrate just on one thing at a time. So the first time we were just playing it, I was just trying out the fingers. The second time we've just now played it, I was working on my hand position. And now we're going to play the A scale one more time and I'm going to focus on the bow. And what I'm going to try and achieve is to stretch my bow arm forwards so that my bow strokes remain straight. What we don't want is this. You see my bow is slipping and most people can't quite reach the tip of the bow like that. So instead what I'm going to do is go and stretch my arm forward so that I finish back here. And that way my bow remains parallel to the bridge, and that is what we're trying to achieve, is for the bow to stay parallel to the bridge. And I'll do it wrong again. See if you can see what goes wrong here. Look, my arm goes that way, and that means that my bow is slipping across the fingerboard, you see. So now I'm playing it to you the right way. I'm going to stretch my bow arm forward. Look at this. And then I can just about reach the point of the bow. So this is what we're going to try and achieve on this next playing. So here we go. We'll play the scale again and we're going to concentrate on the bowing this time. I'll count us in for 2. 1, 2. off we go. Point your bow arm forwards. There we go. Well done, well done. You're really improving your technique this way. That's very good. What I'd like you to do next is, when you next play one of your pieces, I want you to try and find sections of this A scale in your pieces. So when we play a piece in the key of A major, you learn the A major scale, I hope, alongside it. And you can find sections of this scale back into your pieces, because pieces are made up of sections of scales and also sections of arpeggios. And what are arpeggios? We're going to learn an arpeggio next, so I wonder if you know what an arpeggio is. And an arpeggio is a short version of this scale, and it picks out certain notes of the scale, namely the first note of the scale, which is the A, the third note of the scale, which is the C sharp in the key of A major, and then the E, which is the fifth note of the scale. So an A major arpeggio will sound like this. You notice that for each note of the arpeggio, I'm using a whole bow. So unlike the scale, where I play each note of the scale twice, in the arpeggio, I play every note once, but then I'll play the whole arpeggio over again. So if you have your violin and your bow ready, why don't you join me? So we're going to play A, then 2 fingers on A, then an open E string, and then 3 fingers on E, and then afterwards we'll go the same way back as we've come up the arpeggio. I'll count us in for 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. There you go, your first arpeggio done. So sections of this arpeggio, you are quite likely to find these in sections of the pieces that you're playing, and that's why we're learning this arpeggio away from your pieces. This is something that you will come across so many times that it's actually more efficient to learn it separately rather than in each individual piece. So many times you will come across it. So at first that will be quite confusing. And that's perfectly okay. When I first learned an arpeggio, I was very confused as well. But you very soon learn to play it off by heart. And that's what I want you to do as well. So let's play it again, shall we? Let's play the A major arpeggio off by heart. And when we begin, I want you just to get your left hand in gear. So find your finger line so that it's level with the E string. So your fingers, again, are very high up above the fingerboard. Check over your thumb. And your thumb should just be peeking over the edge, and it should be up a little bit. It shouldn't be leaning back or way too far up, or not even underneath the fingerboard like that. Let it just come like that, peeking over the edge here. Now, I'll count us in for 3, and here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well done. You'll have noticed that before I play the top note, I have got all 3 fingers on the E string. Can you see that same pattern as we talked about earlier on when we were practicing the scale? So Very quickly put your first 3 fingers down on the scale before you play this bit here. Now you might take a little bit of time by going, then do that. Can you see all my fingers come down at the same time? Now that's not so easy to do, so take your time, and after a while of practicing it one by one, you will find where the 3rd finger is. Let's play the arpeggio again, shall we? And we'll play it with the repeat as we always do, and we're practicing this, getting your fingers on the E string. 1, 2, 3. You're getting there, aren't you? Now, this time, let's focus on the bow. So, up until now, we have just been working on the left hand, trying to get all our fingers in gear, and that's fine. You need to do that first, don't you, to find the notes and so on. But now that you're a little bit further advanced with that left hand, let's now try again to stretch that bow arm forward, like we did before. So be careful that your bow arm doesn't go this way, because this way your bow will slip and it won't be parallel to the bridge, you see. So instead, stretch that bow arm forwards. Let's play the arpeggio, and we'll play it with a repeat again. 1, 2, 3. You're getting better all the time. So now let's just recap what we've learned today, and let's play the scale followed by the arpeggio, and we'll play it with piano accompaniment. So we will play the scale twice every note first. I'll count us in for 2. 1, 2. Lovely playing. So you see, I play it with piano accompaniment so that I can check the tuning of my scale as well. You've noticed I play a 4th finger at the top, as we've done it before, and that's simply to give that little pinky a little bit more practice. Now, this time, let's play the arpeggio together with piano accompaniment, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. That was such good practice. Well done. Come back again tomorrow and practice this with me again until you know it all off by heart. And that is how well I want you to know these things. These are basic techniques for the violin. So come back and learn it with me. That's why I'm putting these videos on. So thank you very much for joining me today and good luck with your practice. I very much look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.